What's up, everybody, and welcome back to A Beer a Day with TK. It's a chilly day here in Findlay, Ohio, and I'm hanging out in the beer shed, getting ready to check out a new beer. Now, the one I have today is called Boneshaker, and this is from Amsterdam Brewing, and these guys are out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And you may say to me, TK, how did you ever get your hands on a beer from Toronto, Ontario, Canada? That's another country, my brother. I don't see this on the shelves around here. And the answer is through my good friend Shane from Shane's Craft Beer Reviews. So I'll throw his logo up here and a link down below. So a while back, Shane had sent me some beers. I'm pretty sure I did an unboxing on it if you want to check it out. But this was one of the beers that he sent there, as well as he sent me a couple of craft dinners, which is the Kraft macaroni and cheese Canadian version. I was very eager to try this because I wanted to do a video on it. So he sent me 2 boxes. So my wife and I tried one just to see what it tasted like. And then we actually had the other one sitting in the, I guess, what do you call it, the cabinet or whatever. And I was planning to do a side-by-side on the 2 macaroni and cheeses. And then my daughter came to visit and cleaned out all of my macaroni and cheeses, including my craft dinner. Now, I suspect she didn't realize that it was different than the other ones, but it disappeared, so I never got to do the video. Now, luckily, I did get to try it because he sent me 2. So, Shane, appreciate the hookup on the beer and the craft dinner, which to me is always like a lyric from a Bare Naked Ladies song, right? So it's always cool to see it. Unfortunately, there will be no video as my daughter took it and ate it accidentally. So, is what it is. Still appreciate being able to try it. So this one here, like I said, is an unfiltered IPA, and this is, I guess it is Amsterdam Brewing. When you look it up on Untappd, it says a subsidiary of Royal Unibrew, not Unibrow, like the French-Canadian one, BreW. And it looks like this is I guess a conglomerate out of Denmark that probably owns some stake in this brewery, I guess. Now, I don't think I've ever had any of their beers before. Even though I'm only about an hour and a half from Canada, oddly, I don't really see many Canadian beers here. I see Flying Monkeys occasionally, and then the macro garbage, which is kind of sad because, you know, I get California beers, and it's 50 times further than Ontario is just right here. But I really see very few beers unless I drive over to Windsor. Can art is pretty cool. Got a skeleton there driving the bicycle. It almost looks like one of those penny farthings or whatever they call it with the giant wheel in the front. Maybe it's not completely massive, but it's much bigger than the back. Neat little can. Got a little blurb here on the back. It says, Amsterdam Brewery, brewed using copious amounts of hops. This unfiltered IPA is loaded with fresh grapefruit and pine aromas and over-the-top hop flavors with a U that are balanced out by a solid malt backbone, a truly unique taste experience. So, I know Shane had sent this to a couple of different people. I think Dave's TV just did a review on this. I don't know when this will get released, but I watched it this morning. So Dave did one, Shane did one, and I think he might have sent one to Brian, the Beer Snob, and a couple other guys. So there may be multiple reviews of this going on out there somewhere on YouTube land. So mine will be one of the many. Let's see what I think of it. Now, ratings-wise, it does pretty good. 3.68 on Untappd. You see, I blocked my... Nope, Beer Advocate was a nothing. There wasn't enough check-ins on Beer Advocate for it to have a rating. This is 7.1% ABV, 80 IBUs. Looking at it in the glass, it looks magnificent. Now I'm going with my Iced Tier Adventure Club glass. I mentioned before Iced Tier went out of business at the end of February. As an Adventure Club member, they gave you your glass when you left, so sad to see them go. I look forward to them returning one day, but thrilled to have the glass. Color on this is beautiful. That's like a rich, dark honey color. If you have good honey. Not if you have that yellow crap you buy from Walmart. But if you have proper honey, there's a nice amber color to it. This is kind of what it looks like. So if I were to break out my Brew HQ, I don't know. I'm probably going to go 11 medium amber. I mentioned this in another video. I seem to always, I think when you look at the beer in person with the lights behind you, it always looks lighter than it does when it's on the camera. So I'm guessing that it's really slightly darker than I perceive it to be with these lights here. So normally I would probably say 11 or 12. Maybe I'll go 13, 14, or move it up a tiny bit, maybe even further. Yeah, maybe go 13. It's definitely got a nice dark amber color to it. Head, magnificent. I got 2 fingers of white head. It's doing the pillowy little island things here, which looks quite inviting. Now, what I am kind of interested in, it says expect grapefruit and pine aromas. Now, I know, obviously, depending on which kind of hops you use and all that, you can control what you get. But for me, I don't know. Again, I'm not a big IPA guy, so I tend to look for fruity or piney. This maybe should be both. So let's give it a sniff. Definitely get a little bit of pine. Now, I will say that it's not super resinous and super piney, but you do pick up some pine. You do pick up some fruitiness as well, some citrusy fruitiness. Now, I will say this, full disclosure, I've been battling this upper respiratory thing that I think probably half the country has at this point since mid-December. I just got off, today's my 10th day on antibiotics. Yes, I'm drinking beers, brilliant move. But my sinuses are finally starting to clear up a little bit, and I'm picking up the smells, but none of them are like super strong. Now, I will say again, maybe it's just me because I'm getting over this head, chest, respiratory thing, but I do pick up the scents, but they're not super strong, which I don't know, it's good for somebody like me who doesn't want it to smell like, a glass full of pine cones or grapefruit juice, because neither are particularly appealing to me. Yeah, it smells all right. Let's give it a shot. Cheers. Shane, thank you for the beer, my brother. Greatly appreciate the hookup. I know, I assume be a slight aside. I know a lot of people, you think, who cares? It's some, run-of-the-mill beer. Who cares what it is? For me, this is what this is all about, right? Dudes like us, we don't make any money doing this stuff. If anything, we lose money hand over fist. Going to different breweries, trying different things, spending hours we could be spending with our family or at work doing videos. But this is what it's about, right? When I got into this stuff, I knew it wasn't going to make a lot of money. But I knew I'd meet people, we'd trade beers, we'd experience some different stuff, you'd make friends, and, I think this is a win, and that's what it's all about. So, Shane, thank you for the beer, dude. Let's finally take a sip. Sorry for ranting. Body, relatively light. I had expected more of a body. When you start saying, when they get piney, in my opinion, most of the pinier IPAs, they're more resinous. You tend to have more of a body. They tend to be a little bit slicker. The body on this is relatively light, and I'm kind of surprised. I'm on the fence here. Normally I'm like, it's medium, but like kind of on the low end. This is almost light. I mean, it's probably medium, but barely over the threshold. I expected a little bit more body. It doesn't really distract, just not what I was expecting, that's all. Especially from, what's this say? Naturally carbonated and unfiltered. So I don't know. When I hear that, unfiltered and naturally carbonated, I expect a little bit more like viscosity or stuff in it, but yeah, it's pretty decent. Not too bad. As to the flavors, you get a couple of things going on. You definitely get some piney notes, because I can kind of taste them. This might sound weird, but like on the roof of my mouth, like you're at the top of your palate here, I guess, it feels like resinous, piney. I can almost get it up in my sinus cavities. Maybe it's just because they're finally cleared up. But I get like the pininess in my upper head or whatever, your olfactories. But when you drink it, you do pick up a bit of the grapefruit. That being said, I think it's way more piney than grapefruit. If you were to say to me, again, I use this as a one or the other type of spectrum. Is it more fruity or more piney? 100% more piney. That being said, you definitely do get a little bit of fruitiness in there to try to balance it out a wee bit. So that's, I don't know, a little bit different. Bitterness. For 80 IBUs, not super bitter. You do definitely get a little bit of bitterness, especially like once you drink it, you get a wee bit of like, it at the back of your sinuses, almost like the back of your senses, the back of your throat, like when you drink it. I don't think it's super hoppy up front, but once you drink it, you get a little bit at the end. Now again, you get the piney bit throughout, but I think like the proper kind of like hop bitterness thing hits at the back end, and it works for the most part. So for me, unfiltered IPA, Boneshaker from Amsterdam Brewing, you get a thumbs up. Not a style that I usually seek out, but when I get a good one, I appreciate it. And I think this is a solid version of this. Now, I need to get up to Canada. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like I'm going to make it this summer. Once again, I am going to be foiled by the YouTube get-together and my work, your commitments colliding. Now, I'm probably going to be in Kosovo from around the 4th of July, roughly, to, I think, class goes technically 6th to the 20th, so I'll probably show up a few days early and leave a few days late. Unfortunately, that means I will miss the beer reviewer get-together up in Niagara Falls by a few days. Once again, this happened last year as well. I got stuck in, coming back from Kosovo, got stuck in Chicago, but it was the day after everything ended. So it looks like timing will be the same. I don't know. Next year, maybe they'll shift it a couple weeks and I'll be better off. You know, I'm a university professor. I've got a lot of ties to Kosovo, so I usually try to go back and teach over there in the summer if I can. And, you know, I love the beer reviewer get-togethers. I love my beer reviewer buddies. But work's work, man. So I guess I'll be up there and, you know, I'll do some cool reviews from there. But looks like I'll miss the get-together, which is kind of sad. All right, enough ranting about that. Boneshaker, solid beer. Big thumbs up for me. Hopefully you liked the video. If you do, give me a thumbs up. Hit that like button. Again, thank you to Shane for sending this to me. If you don't follow Shane's craft beer reviews, you do not know what you're missing. This dude is way more entertaining than me. He does this doppelganger series where he makes videos basically mocking the rest of us, kind of mimicking what we do, and they're really entertaining and actually really good. He captures a lot of the things that we do, our mannerisms and our tells, and does them in videos, and it's, I don't know, it's entertaining. I think a lot of us are very self-conscious. You don't realize the weird stuff you do until somebody points it out, and then you're like, oh, damn, yeah, I do that quite a bit. So check out his channel. He's got some really cool stuff. He actually has a second channel. I believe it's called Friday Night Live, where he does interviews with different beer reviewers on a Friday night, which is pretty cool. I was on there a few weeks ago, and some, you know, all the other guys are on there. So if you're trying to learn more about the BrewTube community, check out his channel. Oh my God, sorry, this thing's got me burping already. Check out the channel and see what he has to offer. All right, that's enough of this. I've said enough ranting 3 separate times. Brilliant beer. You know, I really liked it. I appreciate Shane sending it to me, and hopefully you like it. So, you know, again, if you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. I'm inching my way towards 1,000 subs. I think I'm at 970. Eventually, I will earn my way there. It's hard earned, but I'll take it, right? Hey, till next time. Cheers.